Welcome back to Next Gen Console Watch, our show following all the news and rumors on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. I'm Daemon Hatfield, and as always, I am joined by Jonathon Dornbush, host of IGN's PlayStation Podcast Beyond.
Beyond. Hey, Daemon.
And not as always, but always a pleasure, we are joined by Seth Macy, host of IGN's Nintendo Podcast, Nintendo Voice Chat, and also a member of our commerce team.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk commerce.
Let's talk commerce. It's that time of year again. Commerce. It's the commerce season.
It's the commerce season.
The most wonderful time of the year. Everyone's starting to put their holiday gift guides together. I'm sure Seth has been very busy working on that for IGN. So this episode will be a next-gen gift guide. What to get the next-gen gamer in your life. Fun goodies for both owners of the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. So let's get right into it. Let's go ahead and start with the PlayStation 5 and maybe start with the biggest one, the console itself. Seth, is it going to be possible for anyone to find a PS5 for the remaining 2 months of the year if they don't already have one?
For anyone, given the 7 billion population of humans on the planet, yes. I would say it's possible. I know that in the UK, they're airlifting consoles in anticipation of the holiday season. But you're not going to be able to walk into a Target or a Walmart and just buy one. That's not going to happen for a long time. Sorry to say. So
the best advice is to still stay vigilant online.
Follow IGN deals on Twitter. I mean, it's our direct competition, but follow Wario64 because he has precognitive abilities and actually
fast.
It's unbelievable, and it actually hurts him physically every time they restock. And I don't think that's great, but he admits that that's the case. So,
okay. Aside from the most important thing after the console is obviously the games. Jonathon, what PS5 games are you recommending this holiday season?
I mean, if you're lucky enough to be able to get a PS5 this holiday and it's your first time picking up the console, I mean, you got to be able to look back at the last year. It's been a pretty solid year one with Returnal, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and Deathloop. I think you can't not get those games if you're picking up a PS5. And then, of course, you have still the launch era games like Demon's Souls, Miles Morales, if you didn't play it on PS4. So, you've got a lot from the first party or exclusive third party realm to dip into it. I think they're all really great showcases for what the console can do, and even smaller indie stuff like Kena Bridge of Spirits, of course, is another really great showpiece for what the system can do. There's some cross-gen in there, but, there's about 4 or 5 really, really solid console exclusives for the PS5 that I think you have to get when you get a PS5 day one.
And Deathloop is down to $40, I want to believe, in certain places. I just checked on Amazon before recording this. The afternoon of November 3rd, Deathloop is $40. So definitely pick that one up. I also got to throw out Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut.
Yes.
One of my absolute favorite games on any PlayStation platform. One of my favorite games of probably the past decade. Incredible game. What about controllers? You get a controller with your PlayStation 5 with one of the white controllers, but there's a couple other colors out there. Is that right, Seth?
That is correct. You can get the Midnight Black or the Cosmic Red.
Sure.
The Cosmic Red is $5 more for some reason. I think there's a shortage of red paint, but I mean, that's the best one also. So it might be.
That's the best one?
That's the best looking one. Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like that's black here.
No.
Okay, I like the Midnight Black.
It's good, but I like the red more. I will give you that. I have the red as well, but I do like the all solid black as well.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that one, but the red, it just pops.
I just feel like the red is the one that goes the least with the design of the console. Big white.
It goes with everything else.
It would go well with my holiday sweatshirt.
That's true.
Yeah.
Definitely pick up an extra controller or two. And then in terms of some extra goodies, there's gift cards for the PlayStation Store, PlayStation Plus, which is, free in quote, extra games every month to check out. And then there's PlayStation Now. Jonathon, is there any sort of benefit to PlayStation Now actually on PlayStation 5?
Not currently. We've seen a pretty still slow adoption of PS Now by the audience in general. And admittedly, Sony has made advancements to it in the last year or two, but nothing really PS5 centric at the moment that demands that you get also a PS Now subscription. If you're getting a PS5 and you happen to have not played a PS2 or a PS3 or many of the classic Sony first-party games during those generations. There are some on that service that are worth playing for sure, but otherwise PS Plus will pretty well have you covered.
Got it. Now let's talk extra storage, the storage expansion. A recent firmware update made it possible to expand the storage on the PlayStation 5. And Seth, I believe there's a storage option that IGN recommends. Is that right?
That is correct. The WD Black SN850 1 terabyte with the heatsink is the one that is at the top of our recommended list. If you can get it, sometimes it's a little bit hard, but it's become a lot easier to track down all of the compatible ones. But yeah, that's a real good one right there.
Not cheap though. I think it's it's currently slightly discounted to $230. So half the price of the console.
Yeah,
it'll cost you.
If you want larger sizes, the price goes up pretty substantially. Like we're talking, I think the 4 terabytes like $899 or maybe even more than that. Well, it's cutting edge technology and it sucks a little bit, but we all got to remember when the Xbox 360 came out, they offered a version with a 4 gigabyte memory card because back then hard drives were just so expensive, and now it's like 4 gigabytes. I mean, come on. You can't even buy an SD card with 4 gigabytes on it anymore.
It's true. But Jonathan, it's supposed to be relatively straightforward adding in or swapping out that extra storage. Is that right?
Yeah, I haven't done it myself personally yet. I've been looking to see how options go for the holiday, but a few people on staff have done it. And even though there's some trepidation, of messing around with the system itself, I've heard it go pretty smoothly for just about everyone who's tried. So it shouldn't be too much of a worry.
And finally, a fun little PlayStation goodie for the PlayStation fan on your shopping list is the PlayStation Checker Neon 90s hoodie pullover that's available from Amazon. I would wear this. Seth, I feel like this is up your alley as well. So.
Yeah, it's super vaporwave, which is my whole aesthetic.
The whole thing.
I'm into it.
And that's a good one. I don't have a price on that one, but we'll put up the price on the screen through the magic of B-roll. So PlayStation console, you got some games, extra controller, extra storage, a hoodie. PlayStation fans should be all set. They should be happy. Let's talk about Xbox. Now, the Xbox console, is the story any different on the Xbox side in terms of availability, Seth?
It depends. The Xbox Series X still real hard to get. Maybe not quite as hard as the PlayStation 5, but only in that when it does come into stock, it might last 10 minutes instead of 5 or 1 minute. However, the Series S has been relatively speaking easy to get. You might be able to get one of those, and for a lot of people, that's a great solution. I mean, who's not going to be excited to have a brand new console underneath the tree? So.
And of course, Series S will still get you into Xbox Game Pass, which I think would probably be the second thing we would recommend after getting your console, but ahead of getting any games, because your Game Pass subscription gets you access to a lot of games, right?
Yeah, it gets you access to all the first-party Microsoft games on day one. So basically, you get somebody a Game Pass subscription, and they open it up, and you've given them Halo Infinite, you've given them Forza Horizon 5, you've given them every first-party Bethesda game, which is now technically first-party, and then all the other ones, 150 or however many it is. So yeah,
the biggest Xbox games this fall are Halo Infinite and Forza Horizon 5. And you get both those included with your Game Pass subscription. So it just doesn't make sense to just buy those games individually. I'm also going to throw in Guardians of the Galaxy. That's available on other platforms as well. I just happen to be playing it on Xbox, and I think that's a great game. I think a lot of people will have a lot of fun with this holiday season. I forgot something on the PlayStation side, and that is the Pulse 3D wireless headset. It comes in white and black to match 2 of the controllers. Sorry, it doesn't come in red. Seth.
Yet.
But I have $10 more.
Yeah, that's true. I have that headset. It's $99. I highly recommend it. It's great. Jonathan, do you have that one?
Yeah, it's for the price point and the quality, it's a really, really great option. I will say, as someone who wears glasses all the time, I can only wear them for so long before it starts to hurt.
Got it.
But that's the case with most headphones these days. But yeah, though it's just something to keep in mind. But otherwise, the audio quality is really great. It obviously has all the built-in buttons for switching chat and game audio and all that sort of stuff, and uses the 3D audio, and it sounds great.
3D audio, yeah. Playing something like Returnal is a great experience with that instead. But I think both of these platforms have a $99 wireless headset option, and I actually have both of them. I have the Pulse 3D wireless headset, and then I have just the Xbox wireless headset as well. I also recommend that $99, super easy to use, sounds great, can't beat it for the price. Anything else that you would recommend, either Jonathan or Seth, on either of these platforms as sort of like a fun holiday item for people's shopping list this year?
I mean, you can go on eBay and you can buy empty boxes and just ruin somebody's Christmas.
That's so mean.
That's not as fun.
It's fun for you, but it's not fun for the person getting the gift.
It is true. And you're referring to actual auctions that are just selling empty boxes, which has
just selling the empty box and saying, gag gift, joke, empty box, PlayStation
so
5.
Bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Yeah, I guess that would be allowed by eBay's terms of service. Up next, we have the results of last week's poll. There was a state of play focused on third-party games from Sony. We asked, what game are you most excited for from the latest Sony state of play? The winner was The Little Devil Inside. Not too surprising there. But Star Ocean, The Divine Force, the new Star Ocean revealed. They're sort of like neck and neck, 37%, 35% of the vote. Everyone's excited for that. Not too many people excited for Deathverse. Sorry, Deathverse. Deathloop. There's only room for one big death game on the PlayStation family, and that's Deathloop.
Well, and we had Death Store as part of the showcase too.
We had Death Store
in the poll. So yeah, it's an overflow of death, unfortunately. I think, what's happening here.
There's also a game called Death's Gambit, which I haven't played, but is also a recent Death's game. I don't know what kind of mood indie devs were in 2 years ago when they started working on it.
It's been a dark time.
We've got a new poll for you to vote on for next week. Which will be your go-to next-gen accessory this holiday? You need a headset, an extra controller, red one. You want to expand your storage? Make sure to vote at IGN.com, and we'll share the results with you next week. And that's going to do it for this edition of Next Gen Console Watch. Next week's going to be a really big fun one. Next week is the 1-year anniversary of both consoles, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. We'll have a fun little birthday celebration for both platforms. As for this week, thank you to Jonathan. Thank you, Seth, for joining us. Always a pleasure. Thank you to Alan, working behind the scenes to make this episode possible. My name is David. We'll be back same time next week, 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern, with more next-gen PS5 and Xbox Series X news. See you then.